What's happening here?
Well, I don't think you're going to be able to do it just yet at Citibank. However, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you can do it at Umpqua Bank. It's one of these banks that's sort of pushing the idea of branch banking into a whole other realm. So they're saying your bank almost becomes a community center, a lifestyle center. Maybe you'll go for your Friday night square dancing event, or you'll go for your Saturday night wine tasting, or you'll go for your Tuesday morning yoga class. And while you're there, maybe you want to get another checking account.
And then, by the way, get a checking account. Exactly. What's the whole point here is what, Charles? Just that we spend so much of our time online banking. We don't need to go in the branches. We barely use checks anymore. Is that all what's sort of driving this trend?
The source of this all, the frustration is that banks basically are starting to see their customers migrate not only to online, but actually the first ever mobile-only bank is going to launch later this year in the United States. And so basically banks are losing that face-to-face connectivity. The problem for banks is that the face-to-face connectivity is one of their best ways to do business with people. People don't do things like suddenly spontaneously sign up for a CD online the way they do sometimes in a branch, apparently.
Right.
And frankly, still a lot of customers also like the branch experience. They like when they do big transactions. So to create a warmer feel and or to generate more traffic, banks are having to rethink the branch. So you have on the one hand, you have sort of this extreme example of we'll do a yoga class at the branch. On the other hand, you have some very practical ways of rethinking branches. For example, you're starting to see a lot of branches now in supermarkets. That's been on for a few years, and it's really turned out to be very successful. The idea that a branch doesn't have to be a standalone location. Another idea is that a branch could also have something like video conferencing. So the bank doesn't have to have a big branch. It could have a very small branch, but it could hook you up with national experts. Say if you're looking for a certain type of investment, they could say, well, just step over to our teleconferencing station and you'll talk to so-and-so in Northern Australia today.
So what you're saying, in the supermarket, I can go get my blueberries and I can go get traveler's checks all in the same thing, all in the same visit.
If they can combine the yoga studio there, you can even do more.
I'm all good. I'll never have to leave. They just need to add a little hotel attached to it. One last question for you. You know, we've seen in the banking industry the folks there courting people who make, you know, sort of have assets there of about $100,000 in the way they used to court people who only, you know, had millions of dollars. Having more people there, greeters, to talk to you when you come in, to hopefully upsell you on other products. Is this sort of all a part of that larger trend, you think, Charles?
Well, I think what you're looking at is to some degree, either way you slice it, is it's the baby boomer market. I mean, sometimes you could talk about it being the mass affluent market, but I think what's all of a piece is it's the boomer market, and they respond to a very different set of directives and different emotional cues. So I think that they just I think there's a certain sort of touchy-feeliness that they like. They like to feel very much on the cutting edge with technology, so they do like to do their banking online or on their phones, and we've seen those Chase ads where you can, you know, deposit a check without ever doing anything other than turning on your phone.
Yeah.
But boomers sort of also like that Bill Clinton-esque, warmy, touchy feeling, and have a nice glass of Chardonnay while you're discussing your checking.